They're trying to fix them down here.
Oh, that's all right.
No, I believe in the show yesterday, and I'm like, man, it looks kind of different outside, and I realized there was no light bulbs on at all.
Oh, that'll do it.
It's been an interesting day in this. I mean,
it has been an interesting couple of days downtown. Oh my gosh, and shout out to the street department for digging us out. So we had Tycon do our parking lot. They did a great job, and then also a big thank you to Stutz Excavating as well, because Stutz dug out our sidewalks, because shout out to the street department for getting downtown cleared up, but you can't put the snow. There's nowhere to put the snow. So unfortunately, when they're plowing the streets, it goes on the sidewalks, but then we can't get it with the shovel. So shout out to Tycon and to Stutz for getting us cleared out and ready to go.
We're back.
We're back in business. So
and going into this, the library is always going to be in business. That's the good thing. And you guys have a lot of cool stuff. The first time we talked this month, it was like just nonstop event after event.
Yep, it's still going on. And before we jump into that, I also want to give a big shout out to Sherry and Josh, who are our maintenance crew.
They're awesome.
They're awesome, and they came in on Sunday after they got their houses dug out. They came in on Sunday and they started digging us out, and then everything that they did got dumped back on it. So then they came back on Monday while we were closed, and also dug us out along with Tycon and with Stutz. So big shout out to Sherry and Josh too. So
that's really
sorry. I didn't want to leave them out of it.
Well, with it being so dang cold. I mean, it's one thing when it's 12 inches of snow like November.
It was so cold.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal, and they did a great job.
And then, before we get into events, the other bit of business is, do you guys still technically activate as a warming center throughout the day?
We are. So that's the thing too. Lots of people think, if the school district's closed, then the library's closed as well. Really, the library just closes when the staff. It's not safe for the staff to get, because we have staff that's coming from Bethel or from Bunker Hill area and Medora area and Edwardsville and Belleville and Alton and Godfrey. So we have to take into consideration the safety of the staff and the patrons. We don't want patrons getting out on the road if they don't need to. So we'll close for that. But the cold, we're open, even if it's below freezing. We're open. We don't close for cold because we are a warming center.
Well, I think it's always good to make those notes, because my thing is, it's not necessarily for maybe the unhoused or the homeless or what. It's for people that maybe have their heat go out that day and they don't know where to go for a few hours.
We had that happened to a staff member.
Oh, I bet.
Their furnace went out and they're like, well, I'd rather be at work. It's more at work today than it is at home. But we've had some patrons who've come in, and said, I'm here. They turned my heat off at home, they have a home. They have a furnace. It's just not on because their power's been turned off. So it's for anybody that needs to warm up. So
really good to note that, and good for the public to note that too.
At all three locations. So not just at one. So the mall, the downtown library, and the genealogy and local history library. So all three.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Mary, take it away. What is coming down the Hayner Pipeline?
We have our adult puzzle race challenge, which this filled up fast. So this is full, but it is tomorrow.
Is it really?
It's tomorrow, January 29th from 6 to 7:30 at the mall library. And we have teams. We have 7 teams of 4 people. And they are all going to compete in that hour and a half to put together a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. And whoever does it the fastest wins a prize. And so we did this once before and it filled up. So we expanded it to 7 teams this time, and it filled up right away too. So that's tomorrow.
Really cool.
That's our adult puzzle race challenge. So that's going on. Another program that's filled up, the Ghosts Next Door, the Milton Schoolhouse.
I figured that one.
Yeah, that one filled up. That is on January 29th from 7 to 8. And so we are having, we're going to talk about the history of the Milton Schoolhouse. And then we're also going to combine local history with the ghost hunting. And so we'll also talk about the haunted history of the Milton Schoolhouse as well. Then we have, I'm just going to keep going. We've got Blind Date with a Book, and that is going to be for the first 2 weeks of February. We're going to have a display out, and we will have all of these different books wrapped up with paper so you can't tell what the book is. It'll just have like 1 or 2 keywords on the front, so it's sort of a blind pick. So you just grab one off the shelf and check it out, and you might find a new author, you might find a new title that you like or a series, but it's kind of just you never know. You might fall in love with a book. So that's a blind date with a book. And then our other program that's coming up is we have the Vintage Voices Players. So this is one we're really excited about. This is the Lovejoy Legacy. So this one has spaces that are open because we're having it in our performance room, which is upstairs and can hold about 100 to 125 people. And we do still have seats available. So this is Thursday, February 12th at 6:00 p.m. at the Alton Square Mall upstairs. So, and again, I know I say this a lot, but if you can't navigate stairs, please park upstairs because the escalator is at the mall is not working. So this is February 12th, 6 p.m. We're going to have five performers who have performed at Vintage Voices past at the Alton City Cemetery. And each one of them is connected somehow to Elijah Lovejoy. And so they're going to recreate through first-person portrayals their connection to Lovejoy and tell the Lovejoy story by the people who either knew him or carried on his legacy. So we have somebody who's going to portray Celia Lovejoy, his Lovejoy's widow, William Scotch Johnson, who is a free black man who secretly buried Lovejoy's body, Amanda Kitchell Shavers, whose freedom was secured when Alton citizens united to purchase it, Thomas Dimmick, who led the effort to build the Lovejoy Monument, and Isaac Kelly, who was the first official Lovejoy grave trustee. So we're going to have 5 people recreate this. It's going to be a really great night. So we hope people can come out for that.
Now, do you have to call the 1-800 number?
You do. So if you could call the 1-800 number, and it's on our website, on our events calendar. All of this is on our events calendar. But the number is 1-800-613-3163. And so you can call that and just register, and we'll save you a seat for that.
And that'll be one, really, if you have time to go.
That one I'm looking forward to. I'm bringing a couple of family members to that one, too. That should be a really good one. So
that's going to be great. Well, and then following that, fill me in. What is Palentine's?
Then the very next day, we have our Palentine's game night. So this is a game night. It's a Palentine's Day, which is a take on Valentine's Day, but it's for you and all your friends. So it's a night of friendship and fun, and it's going to be a Palentine's Day game night. So you can come. We're going to have all kinds of different games, so board games, card games, snacks, all kind of with a Valentine theme, a love theme. But it's just a day for people, an evening for people to come with their friends to the library and play games and have snacks and hang out. And that is the night before Valentine's Day, so it's Friday, February 13th from 6 to 7:30
Oh, that'll be cool. Well,
yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
And I'm just saying, I mean, there's a lot of great restaurants around the mall.
Yes.
And you can go and find some good stuff right afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Or before
if you're an early bird. We've sort of started preaching the wonders of eating dinner really early. We're like joking about going for the early bird special.
Did that. 4 o'clock was when we had dinner as a family. And I keep it going.
Yeah. So go before or after, support a local business, and then come to the library for Palentine's Day. So
for sure. I love this.
Yeah.
Well, and Mary, that leads me in, because I know that whenever we get into Valentine's Day in like middle February to March, that's when you start to see a lot more events too, because you guys because you're busy now, but
we're busy now, and we do get busy. So we have those are adult. These are kind of adult and family events that I was talking about. But for our kids and for our teens, we do the same thing. So we have our cookbook book club, which is coming up on February 19th.
Is that still going well? I hope it is.
Great. People love it.
That's a great addition.
You just come to the library, to the mall library, and you take a look at the current book that we have on display, the current cookbook. We have a theme, and then you can choose a recipe from that cookbook, and then you come back and make it and bring it with you. And then everybody that's in this club talks about their favorite recipes and cooking tips and the cookbooks that we have at the library, and then they taste each other's creations. And this one, we actually don't have a book selected. It is just you bring a recipe from your favorite cookbook.
I love
and
that.
then we'll talk about that.
I think it's so cool because it really highlights what the library is meant for, and that's community.
It is. It absolutely is. That's one of the things that we're really trying to impress upon people, is that the library isn't just this place that's a repository for books, which we have over 200,000 items in the collection,
and that's
so we
cool.
have that in addition. But one of the things too that we're doing is trying to create a sense of community and a sense of place for people to come and enjoy each other's company and get to meet new people, or bring the people currently that you do know in your life to the library library and just hang out and learn things and have a good time.
I think a big component for you guys too, and this isn't, every library I think does a very good job in this area, but what I think you and your staff do for events is, being community doesn't mean just putting on a block party-esque type of an event and saying everyone's welcome. There's different interests in each community. And I think that you guys do a really good job of letting staff explore their interest and showcase that to the community. And it really fits that larger package of not just, okay, here's an overall community event. Here's something for all the knitters out there. Here's something for the food lovers. Here's there's something for
the history lovers. And that's what we do. And I know I say this a lot, but it's true. We have a fantastic staff, and the staff listens to the patrons that come in the library, or they're out and about in town and they hear somebody mention something and they come back and they say, we've got this group of people that is interested in this. Can we give it a try? And if we can make it happen, we'll try it. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, we try something else. But we're giving people what they want, what we think that they want. And like you said, it's for all different interests. So if history isn't your thing, but maybe knitting is, then you can come to our craft program. But if your history is your thing, you can come to, we're going to have our program on the deaths of Abraham and Mary Lincoln's sons. So you can come to that. You can come to you can come to the genealogy programs that we have. There's just something for everybody. And, the other thing is they're all free. So even if you don't think you're a history person, but you think, I might try it, the price is right, you might as well come out and try it.
Well, I feel like we all get into that point, right? Where it's like, man, I wish there was something to do that's town related, and I think every once in a while throughout the year, even when I was younger, man, I wish there was a community event going on. Yeah. These are the perfect ones to go to.
And especially in the winter, we're all stuck at home. It's freezing cold outside. It's dark early, and you're sitting at home and you think, I cannot watch another episode of Law and Order. I just can't do it. I can't do it. What's going on in town? Well, just grab the library newsletter or go on the library website, because I guarantee you there's a program going on. We have programs 7 days a week. Some of them are passive program for kids where families can come in and participate in like a treasure hunt, but we have a lot of active programs too. And I'm sure there's something for everybody at some point throughout the week that if you're looking for something to do that's free.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is this upcoming presentation here about Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd's
George
sons?
Provenzano, PhD. George is a local economist, and he also is a history, is really interested in history and is a historian. And so he is presenting a program on Wednesday, February 25th at the Genealogy and Local History Library at 6:00. And it is the deaths and funeral of Abraham and Mary Lincoln's sons, Eddie and Willie. And so, as we all know, the Lincolns were a pretty tragic family. Yeah. And not only did they endure Lincoln's assassination, but Lincoln and Mary Todd also endured the deaths of two of their children. And so we're going to be talking about the sons, two of their four sons who died, Eddie and Willie, and their lives, but the impact that their deaths had on both of their parents, because they had a huge impact. And we'll also be discussing, how they mourned, the infectious diseases that the children were experiencing during the day, and how that shaped
Who died
society.
In the White House? Which one?
So I believe that was Eddie died in 1850, so it would have been Willie. Willie died in 1862 while they were in the White House. So,
really what Mary Todd went through, and really at a time when mental health wasn't examined or looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a it's such
so tragic.
Before the Kennedys, a Camelot story to pull the country together while you're literally dealing with, or try to pull the country together while you're going through just tragedy and turmoil. It's a woman
who lost, two of her sons were so she saw the death of her two of her children. She saw her husband assassinated, went through the war. Her family was divided between the North and the South. So this woman went through a lot, and we just hear, oh, crazy Mary Todd. Well, maybe there was a reason that Mary Todd had
it would have taken me a lot fewer time than Mary Todd to have the issues, to be honest
So we're going to talk about all of that. And I know it sounds like a real, bummer of a program, but it's fascinating. The story of these people and what they endured really for our country.
I really encourage people this year, especially kids my age, to do more things like that because it's our country's 250th birthday, and that's it's such a cool thing. And
it is.
That leads me to this. What's Discover Washington?
So Discover
DC?
Washington DC, and I'm glad we're going to talk about this because we had someone who contacted the library, and I'm really glad that we were able to clear up any confusion. Someone thought we were taking, like, you know how banks and things will take a tour of Washington DC.
Yeah.
This is actually, we're going to bring Washington DC to Alton. So on Tuesday, March 10th, from
President
6 to
Trump
7
will
o'clock,
not be in attendance.
No, he will not. From 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. It'll just be library people. At the mall library upstairs in the performance room, March 10th, 6 to 7. It's called Discover Washington DC: A Monumental Journey. And so Lucretia Huff, who is a licensed tour guide, she's going to come to the library for an hour-long presentation, and she's going to talk about all of the different monuments, all of the different landmarks in Washington, D.C., talk about the history of them, talk about how they were formed, you know, what they mean. She'll have different photos, different things, and she'll highlight not only the landmarks like the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial. She's also going to talk about the Smithsonian Museum, and she's going to talk about all the things in the collection there and dive in sort of to the entire history of the Washington, D.C. monument scene.
Because there's a lot of students I know do the DC trip still, or even families that are going. How great would it be to get a little bit of insights before you go? Exactly.
Yeah, did you do the Washington trips when you were kids?
No.
Yeah, we did it in the 8th grade at West Middle School and had a great time. And since then, I've been to Washington 2 or 3 more times. I think about 3 more times.
They actually have my sign on our picture on the door. Oh, really? They won't let me in.
They see you coming and they say,
good old convenience store photo, right?
Yeah. No, it's such a great city. It's probably my favorite American city because of all the. I'm a history nut. Oh yeah. So all the history that's there. So we'll talk about all of that, and then to wrap up March for the adult programming, we are going to have classical guitarist Peter Fletcher. So again, you talk about that kind of well-rounded programs. So he's going to be coming March 24th from 6 to 7 o'clock, and he is going to. It says that Peter holds a master's degree from the Eastman School of Music, and he's been performing full time for over 20 years. He's played at Carnegie Hall. He's played at the Inner Church in New York City, and he is going to be coming and playing different compositions for us, all different kinds of, from British composers, Spanish composers, Italian composers. He's even going to play some Bach on the lute. So he's got a wide repertoire, and he's going to be playing for us. And again, that's a free program. So
this is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Mary, anything else happening at the library right now?
Well, we've got still due through the end of the month, so you still have a couple of days if you want to do fine amnesty for any overdue materials that you currently have checked out, even if they've been marked lost. You can bring those in along with a warm weather or cold weather item like hats, gloves, scarves, that kind of thing, and we'll waive your fine as long as it's a Hayner Library item and as long as it's still checked out to you. And then you also have a couple of days through the end of the month. If you have any old Christmas lights, string lights, patio lights, any of those old broken lights that are strand lights, you can drop those off at the library. Any library location, you just literally walk in the front door, toss them in the bin, and head out.
Can I say something on that real quick? If you guys are doing that, and this is something I was talking about last year, whether it's Walmart or wherever, they do really good like 50 packs of those Mylar thermal blankets.
Yes.
And they're $35, but those are really good items, and they do work. And
they really do work. They really do work. And you think about now, it's wet. It's not just cold, it's wet.
That's the bottom. You know, I'm sorry. I don't care where you stand. Everyone has the right to be warm.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if you do that, those are options that really would help.
Those are great because they'll keep people dry as well as warm. So, yeah.
Mary, anything else to talk about?
No. Just that, you know, apparently everybody in Alton's got a lot of lights because we thought we'd fill up maybe like one little Rubbermaid tub. They're bringing in bins on wheels, like these giant recycle. We've filled, I think, 3 of them already. So Alton, y'all got a lot of lights. So, but that's okay. That's what we want. All those would have gone into a landfill.
Well,
so
little
they're
did
not
they
going
tell
into
you
a landfill. They're getting recycled.
They didn't tell you they tore them off their neighbor's house. They've been up there for 4 years.
I'm tired of looking at these lights It's almost February. So, yeah.
Always great talking to you, Mary.
You too.
We'll see you on Monday.
Yep.
And we'll see you for our first Monday show of February. January flew on by.
It did. It really did.
Thank goodness for that.
I know.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Man, birthday show's over.
Oh, well, is it your birthday?
Time for lunch.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, be good and try your best to stay out of jail.